Good evening. It is 6:01. Um, we do have a quorum. You guys will join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I
I salute the flag of the state of Mexico, with the symbol of perfect friendships of the United Cultures.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll with what we have here. Item 1 was 4:30. We had the workshop at 4:30. And then, so this would be now item 2 as general session. So now we are, recognition of staff. Hello.
Thank you all for coming
Yes,
tonight.
thank you very much. All right, so item 3, consent agenda. Do we have a motion to consent agenda?
I move that we adopt the meeting minutes for August 10th.
The motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great, motion passes.
Real quick, did you guys pass the entire consent agenda as one item, or are you taking every item off the consent agenda and passing?
Should,
Oh, yeah,
Ms.
because we
Batista.
were gonna remove Jay.
No.
We don't need to remove J, just as the consent agenda, you only have to make one motion
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything under there goes
That's true.
together.
Yes.
So,
So I move that we adopt today's meeting minutes and the minutes from the previous meeting on July 13th.
yes.
Okay. So we have a motion to adopt.
The
Yes,
agenda and the meeting minutes.
yes, which is item 3A and B. We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Motion passes. Okay, item 4, presentation. What do we have? Oh, that's actually the 4:30 one.
Well, yeah, we don't have a presentation today per se in terms of, they're all items, so.
All right, item 5A, board reports.
That's you guys.
No, it's-
Right, come on, guys.
okay,
right,
I'll go first. So I would,
So,
well,
so go ahead. July 22nd, we had Miss Batista at the orientation, correct?
for new hires.
Yes. For the members.
So that was fun. A lot of new faces. They looked excited. And so I hope that goes well. It was neat to see that we filled a lot of our high need positions, whether it be math or the hearing, what were they called?
Oh, speech language.
Yes. Those
Yeah.
both named Ashley, right? I felt like I was in the cartoon Recess. Ashley S, Ashley Q, all the things. So that was beautiful. That was awesome. They were great and excited, though they wouldn't eat donuts with me because they're all too healthy. So that was depressing. So I had to eat more donuts than everybody else. And then I went to the first day of school, and that was neat. Like I heard some mixed reviews, but I know it was a new thing and we're trying something different. And I think every time you run something the first time, there's improvements to be made. But what I loved is that the hallways were decorated. They were full. You had different vendors there handing out different things, and that was neat to see. All the teachers, for the most part, were standing outside their room, welcoming parents and students, and I love that. Like that's a cool way to walk into school, especially for freshmen that might be a little more nervous. And so that was enjoyable. It was neat to see their first day of school. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. Go ahead.
I really enjoyed the back to school breakfast, and that tradition goes back to the 80s. I know. I think prior to that even, and it was just good to see everybody. It was not too long, and a lot of positive vibes that day. It's one of the things that I ended up doing was a before school crosswalk, and seeing those kids come to school on the first day as they got out of the cars and came across the crosswalk, it generated such a positive, fun feeling. Well, I felt that morning at that breakfast. And appreciate everyone that came and made it, helped make it possible. Also, I just wanted to say, I love the new graphics and the
Yes.
way that they're being used in the community, and really tickled that. I mean, it's just such a great, you're going to recognize it right off the bat. Yeah. And thank you for that.
And I'm going to interrupt in front of you again. The cool thing about the new hire teachers is the students came in. What was really beautiful is we had current teachers coming and talking to our new hires. And it's beautiful to see almost like a grassroots thing of growing of this is who we want to be. We need you to step in with us. And so it's not just getting pushed down from leadership. That would, oh man, I'm going to cry again. Like I was a wreck that whole morning, and then all the students came in and spoke and told teachers what they're looking for. And I was an emotional wreck. And so I just, resulted to eating more donuts and walked myself out. But it was fantastic. There's a thing there. Yeah. I satisfied myself with food. I was like, I need help. Donut. Anyhow,
Awesome.
looks like a life preserver.
Sounds like I should have gone to that meeting.
Yeah, it was good.
As well.
It's so good.
I'd eat donuts with you.
I thank you.
All right, so before I forget, I almost forgot to mention, July 30th, we had the back to school party, pool party, and we cooked hot dogs, and it
We
really,
love hot dogs.
yes.
Lots and lots of hot dogs.
Yes, it was a great outcome. There was everybody came out. There was a lot of kids swimming, and everybody seemed to have had a great time. So
And I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Saw the big full moon that night.
Yeah.
yes, that was gorgeous. Also, thank you, Ms. Harris, for the ice cream. It was delicious. Oh my gosh, I had
And this is
yes.
All of them.
Ferguson made, and
Oh,
Mr. Ferguson.
thank you. Oh,
I
nice.
tried so many.
Wow.
Ice cream, donuts. I really like it here. So
Oh my gosh.
Let's go ahead and make sure everybody knows staff pool party.
Ah.
Because I think people are now thinking, I
Okay.
wasn't invited to. the
Right? It's
party.
like
yeah.
homemade ice cream.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Awesome. Well, yes, I just want to say thank you guys for all your hard work. A lot of work goes into that. I know that was a very busy day for staff, and everybody still pulled together and made it happen. So thank you guys very much.
Mhm.
Also, I believe we got correspondence, and I guess as of July, no, but at the end of the month, actually, August
August.
31st, Ms. Lopez turned in her resignation letter, so she's active till then. And we'll be proceeding with those steps as well. Thank you for your service. We much appreciate it. Okay, anything else on board reports?
I just know how many people have worked this summer, and hope that you got some rest somewhere there,
Yes.
because it's full speed ahead. Thank you for everything that everybody did this summer.
Yep. Okay, so item B, superintendent reports.
I just want to echo the fact that, back to school has happened. So excited, to see kids back in our building. It makes it all worth all the hard work. Huge thank you to our staff, as the first week has come and gone, and we had some students even come in between the little break we had and could tell us about the Dexter Edge. So I think that that's a big win, right? We may not every week all students be able to tell us what the Dexter Edge skill is, but they are taking that stuff, and we're not just talking about it. It's evident that they're also practicing those skills in a physical way, because those kids could shake hands and look you in the eye. So very excited about those possibilities with the Dexter Edge.
Was it presented today?
So every week we present one skill. Last week, the skill was greet others warmly. I put a video on that week out on Facebook. This week, we have a student who put a video out, and it'll be a student from here on out. So
Nice.
that way all our kids can see, not necessarily just our big kids, but if a kid specifically exhibits the skill, we're also looking for those students as well. So teachers helping us, hey, this kid, next week's skill is smile warmly. We already have a student picked out for that, and that's because teachers said, this is the kid who has a genuine smile. And so excited that we'll be able to have those students get on and just say a little bit about what that means
And that's every Monday, right? So
every Monday.
So the skills they exhibited today were taught this morning.
Yes.
Very impressive.
Yes. So, this week is making eye contact, and that looks very different at the, K2 level versus the 9th through 12th grade level.
Right.
Awesome.
I like it.
Right.
I want to mention, I went to the middle school house rally on the back to school experience. It was so fun. So next year, please mark your calendar that you'll come and celebrate our middle school kiddos as they get sorted into their house. It's very much like fraternities or sororities, and that's your group for the year, for your middle school career. And so it gives you a place of belonging, but also it makes school fun whenever
Is
you
that
have
the
other
first
people.
day of school?
It is, and we invite parents, and I think there was more parents this year than there was last year, and so it'll keep getting bigger.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. The only other thing I'd like to say is our slogan for this year is desire, dedication, and opportunity. And so you'll see that on all of our stuff. And we've talked about it with our teachers, as well as continuing with our kids, providing our students with the opportunity to be more. So
Awesome. Looks good.
that is all I have. And then I have high school report she would like to speak, and then learning services.
Can I ask one question?
Absolutely.
In looking at this calendar that you've prepared, the homecoming is the same week as our school board meeting. And just as plans are made for homecoming, can we just find out about them? And because I mean that 4 days between the meeting and is not a lot of time to plan ahead. But
Yes. As soon as we have any information, I think we were all relaxing for 1 week, and
I know.
we'll be back at making
I know.
plans. So we will make sure that information goes out about homecoming.
it happens pretty fast, and it's too much fun to miss. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Which is the same week as the air races, so that will be interesting. It'll be a busy time.
Well, we don't want to lack for something to do.
Right.
So they'll probably be busing kids the whole time.
Good or
Mrs. Milton.
she is in,
High school.
yeah, so C, right? Administrative reports, 5C.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, board. I did share my report with you all earlier, but one thing specific I wanted to share that's not in that report. At the end of last week, middle of last week, we received some information from the NMPED regarding some rule changes when it comes to credit recovery and teachers able to offer or lead that credit recovery. So the ruling has come down that now every teacher that leads the credit recovery course must be licensed in the area that they are teaching or leading. So what does that mean for us? We were using a credit recovery program, and now with that program, every person who leads that program has to be certified in that area. We do not have the ability to have every certified person in that area lead those Edgenuity classes. So what that means for our students when it comes to credit recovery, they will now be placed back into an in-person class that is taught by a licensed teacher. For example, if a student did not pass an Algebra 1 course, rather than take an Edgenuity course online for credit recovery, they now have to take the course in person again with the teacher certified to teach that. So with those changes made, we sent a letter home to all Dexter High School families in English and in Spanish explaining that. And those students that are affected by these changes are going to have, scheduled changes. And meetings will be held with families either over the phone or in person to talk about those changes.
And those will be during the regular school day?
This will be during the regular school, that's correct. Also, when it comes to summer, we are going to take a look at what can be offered during the summer, because again, the rule states that any courses that are taught during the summer must be, and this is credit recovery for down to just any in-person course, has to be taught by a licensed teacher. So what we can offer in the summer will be dependent upon what teachers are available or willing to teach those or lead those.
Thanks for that update. So what is the direction from the state? I only asked this because I used to work at University High, and there were some students that would get so far behind, they would need to recuperate, 6 to 7 credits in a year on top of their additional classes. What happens to students in that situation, or do we not have many in that situation here?
So this is new ruling that has come down and is affecting all schools, not only Dexter, but nearby.
Yeah.
So we are looking to get more guidance, but
Okay,
we are focused because it's going to really affect our seniors or those
correct.
who are looking to graduate this May. So that's something that we are looking into
Okay.
to find out what it is that we can do to support those students very quickly, our seniors who are looking to graduate.
Right, because we have how many classes in a day? 7. So if they needed 9 credits as a senior and they're already taking 7, there's really no
Do
way to
we
get
have
those other
the
2.
number that you saw there? No, but are there some who transfer to us that do need some?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay,
I mean, on a case-to-case basis there, every single kid needed credits for the most
Right.
part. We're not seeing that many, but this also makes us proactive in looking like before kids are failing, right?
correct.
So that's also part of this, is no longer just reactionary on the
Yeah,
kid
that's right.
failed. Yeah.
Right.
I think there's some good that comes with that too.
Yeah, no, I did both. I'm just like, ooh, that shifts the playing ground significantly.
So as soon as we found out, we wanted to make sure we got letters out. So those were sent out
Perfect.
Thursday, and those were put in the mail on Thursday. Already got word that families have begun receiving them as of Saturday.
Okay,
That should be okay.
thank you.
Thank
for
you.
that update.
Okay.
Superintendent Pierce and members of the board, I just wanted to pop in real quick, and down on the agenda, you're going to see the Athletics Equity Act, but I was going to go ahead and just discuss that real quick. So it's not actually something that the board has to approve, because it is a federal mandate that every year we report the equity in our athletics department, but the state does record which districts, of course, complete that report, as well as those who bring it to their board. We feel very strongly in the transparency of this report and bringing it to you. And so you have a link to that spreadsheet. It is a pretty complicated spreadsheet if you don't know what all of the acronyms and everything use, but essentially each tab just documents who our coaches are, how many athletes they have. It also shows the expenditures for each sport and the income for each sport. And then it takes it all the way out. There's a column that says like PPA, which is per pupil or per, I can't even think of the word, but per athlete. And so you can see by sport, how much are we spending per athlete? What's the coach's ratio? And really that's just to ensure that we are being fair and meeting all of the Title IX requirements and offering male and female sports, and that we're not prioritizing. You will notice some sports generally do spend and gain a lot more money. And that is just because, like, for example, if you've purchased a football helmet in any realm of this world, like, you want to spend high quality because that's protecting somebody's brain.
Correct.
But that does mean it looks like football gets a lot more money, but that's because their equipment costs a lot more money. Or a baseball bat, like a really high quality baseball bat, I guess, is very, very expensive. So it does, when you look at it by the monetary amount, you think that's not equal,
equitable means that we're spending the money that we need to ensure that everybody is participating fairly and safely. And so if you have any questions, I'm here for that. I do have Mr. Rand as well, but essentially we just compile everything. And you know, in Dexter, our sports are open. If you can get the physical, and if you can't, we'll find a way. And then essentially we want to participate. And so really, I think, you know, we're giving every athlete we can the opportunities that we have here, but we do appreciate any questions you have. Miss Pierce will affirm that once I hit submit in the portal, but we want to bring it to you in that transparency. And we love seeing Dexter's name being celebrated in any NMPED report where it says like, hey, you guys did a good job in sharing that data.
Awesome, good stuff. So,
So the only other, under human resources, that's where we moved, the resignations / retirements. I would like to, point out that Ms. Harris has put in her retirement as of, June 30th of 2027.
now I believe she did commit to continue bringing ice cream, correct?
That's what we're worried about.
I was like, but we technically haven't approved these guidelines, so we could like harass her into staying, right? These guide rails.
Oh,
I mean, I think the part that is hard is with school retirement. If you don't retire when you can retire and something happens to you while you're on the job, your family only gets what you paid in, not the portion the school paid in. So that's always something I think that people need to be aware of as they wait for retirement. It is a big money risk that you do by not actually retiring when.
Ooh,
Wow.
20%.
But she has to make sure she answers.
Absolutely.
And we just want to do this early so that we can move forward to plan and, you know, get someone hired as of July 1 and hopefully, you know, be able to work through that.
Yes.
Right.
This is just. Okay. So we're on D, learning services report.
Yes, that was Jamie's report.
Okay.
And then I
So
touched on the human resources report.
I saw that. Okay, so technology, yeah.
I only had those two presenting tonight. You asked me to have two people present,
Okay.
and so we'll swap that for next meeting.
thank you. Thank you for presenting.
Yes, thanks very much. Okay, so I don't have, item 6, public forum. We have some, correct?
No, I think they're on the agenda as well.
No one signed up.
Okay. Item 7, business. Approval of policy advisory number 275, GCIA, teacher residency program.
This was the first policy that was on the agenda when I took over this job, and we did not pass this policy at that time. And the reasoning was the wording on this policy had a lot of the district will do this, they will provide a place for those teachers. Since then, it has been recommended that some of that language change and it be more if the district has the position and if the candidate while in residency in the district was a good candidate that fulfilled their obligations, then they should be, you know, part of the higher part.
If you have an opening.
Yeah, if you have an opening, and it does say that in the new policy. So I do recommend with the changes that the policy service has provided us that we would accept the new changes because it does include the district's staffing needs and the residents' performance as determined by the district in its discretion. So it gave us more flexibility versus previously it talked about how much money the district would have to pay, when in reality that's paid by the institution that those kids are coming out of college with. So
Are we going to have teacher residents?
currently we don't. 2 years ago, we had 2 of them. Our current 5th grade teacher and art teacher came out of the residency program. We have not gotten one since then. So I hope we do because it's always good to.
Is that something that can be done by semester?
Residency is a year-long program. So it essentially takes student teaching lengthens it to a 1-year program, and they pay them a little livable wage to do it through the whole year, hoping that 1 year would give students coming out of college a better understanding of the teaching profession.
For sure.
Okay.
Okay. That makes
So-
sense.
We need to vote on that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I move we approve policy advisory number 275, teacher residency program.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Moss. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second by Ms. Batista. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 7B, approval of policy advisory number 276-JICJ, use of cell phones and electronic devices in school.
I recommend that we approve the alternative 2 of that cell phone policy. And the reason for that, we created that cell phone policy whenever it was implemented that we had to have one. This has been legally vetted, and that alternative 2 gives school principals flexibility to make rules with approval of superintendent to restrict student use of wireless communication devices during non-instructional hours within the school buildings and programs. So if we have kids after school or whatnot, we can still restrict their phone usage when we have different pieces. I think that this gives us a little flexibility based upon what may or may not happen. But it does cover the same in which during the instructional day, no cell phones. So it doesn't change any of that, but it is legally vetted. And I do think that we need to change to the version 2 of that policy.
So then, just out of curiosity, so you have a teacher that allows them to use it, the students use it well, whether it be for calculator or research, because sometimes Chromebooks are slow. Is there any
There's
Like
not. And
discipline
that's
against them?
not just a board policy anymore. That's a state policy.
Okay.
They are also providing lots of funding to kill cell phone usage at all in the classroom, whether that might be pouches or killing the Wi-Fi or the cell phone service in a school building. Right now, there's several million in grants to do those things. And it really comes back to not the fact that kids can't use it well, not that we can't provide them in a right environment, but the fact that that is not necessarily proven because people are using it for babysitting versus educational rights. So is it, yes, a reactionary piece of maybe like all people can't use it?
Right.
But their hope is, even with this, I think we will see how many hours students can be on computers. Like they're going back to a lot of what brain research shows that's
Okay.
good for students.
Screen
So
time, yeah.
Yeah.
Screen time in general. Got it. Okay.
it's not a negotiable for us to have a policy.
Yeah.
And the policy has to be no during instructional day, which last year you were able to choose like during passing periods or at lunch if you allowed cell phone usage. They have since taken that piece away. Even there's no wiggle room with that.
No. Version 2. Okay, do we have a motion on the floor? Or
I move we approve policy advisory number 276, use of cell phones and electronic devices in schools, alternate 2 of this policy.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor for version 2 on policy number 276. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item 7C, approval of policy advisory number 277 JLCEC, cardiac emergency response plan, automated external defibrillators. Yeah.
Tongue twister.
This policy is just an updated version of the policy we already currently have. Includes that we now have to have a response plan for cardiac emergency response. So we are working towards a response plan, as well as we have to have one on every student athlete activity is now school athletic activity means a sport or activity. So it defines that, ensuring that we have AED at each of those events, which we do have one, and we have one at the fitness center as well. So I think this is good that we will continue with this and that we will now have a group of 5 people or 10% of our staff that's on that team in case there wasn't ever a need.
And what's nice is with those defibrillators, even if they're not certified, they walk you through step by step. They're almost infallible. So,
Yeah, I'm not so we do train them all through Vector. This just becomes more of having a team that would respond and how we
Yes.
would get them to
Mhm.
respond quickly. We had to call the ambulance last school year and we were almost at 40 minutes by the time it got here. And so we have to be our own response plan, and having those things in order is important.
Do we have a motion or a discussion or anything?
I was gonna let you keep going. I move that we approve policy advisory number 277, cardiac emergency response plan for the automated external defibrillators.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Batista. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second by Ms. Miles. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item 7D, approval of Athletic Equity Act, which is what we just
Yes.
spoke about.
And I recommend that we approve the programs for the Athletic Equity Act.
I move that we, any discussion?
Discussion.
Questions?
Good.
Okay. I move that we approve the Athletic Equity Act.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Batista. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second on the floor by Ms. Miles. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item 7E, approval of out-of-state travel for student council.
It's me again. So I'm trying to be as organized as possible and plan as much ahead as possible as well.
Nice.
That being said, we have three, so I'd like to go one at a time. The first one is the National Association for Student Activities. This is the advisor only conference that I'd like to go to. This year, I'm not just middle school student council advisor, I'm also high school student council advisor. And not only do I have a middle school leadership class, I also have a high school leadership class. And so I would like to go once again to this conference. And that way, I'm trying to read as quickly as possible. I can connect with those to help with, because even though I've done it and I've helped Mr. Smith last year as much as I could at the high school level, there's still a lot of things, especially the leadership part, that I've done at the middle school level for years, but I would like to connect with other people who have done it that are way more experienced and knowledgeable than I am. This one is going to cost about $2,000 depending on flight and hotel. That's why I'm asking as soon as possible, so that way I can get the cheaper flights and the hotel, depending on approval.
Okay.
The second, any questions on that one?
No.
Okay, the second one.
Real quick, Candace,
Yeah.
this is we should have, changed the order. We might put the, asking for grant opportunities before the approval of leave. So she's asking for these, and then also on the F, she's
There it is.
asking to
Gotcha.
go out for grant opportunities to fund these projects with that.
We have fundraisers planned. There's no amount, like last year, we realized very quickly, no matter how hard we have fundraisers, these traveling is just too expensive, even with flying. And so that's why we're asking to go for grants to help us cover these flights and hotels, which is way too expensive for small local communities that we have to.
Absolutely. Can we approve that grant one then first? Or could we just do that all together?
We'll let her listen. We'll listen to her, and then you can approve them in whatever order you want to.
Once again, I'm asking to take my students to Washington, D.C., September 2 for the week conference. This is the end of February. This one is, like I said, depending on the flight and hotel, is $2,000 to $2,500. I will say that last year by the time we were able to register, we got waitlisted and never got off the wait list. That's why we didn't come back before the board and asked to receive the grant that we were awarded. So this year, we'll have fundraising done prior to registration, so we'll have the funds for that. We don't have to worry about, oh, we missed registration, oh well. This way, once again, we'll already have your approval, so when the registration does open up in September, we'll have that, and then we can work on waiting on the approval of the grants, so that way we can help cover the rest of the expenditures that's gonna be recurring. Then in number 3 is vision conference. Again, try to move our plan because I've got to have my ducks in a row. It is in June 22nd to 27th. I already have 4 students asking to attend this at the high school level. This one is the one where we spend a whole week as a state delegation. It's very much like the national conference, with the exception of we go as a state and we do things as a state. The nice thing about this is when we travel, like 2 years ago when we went to Oklahoma City, when we toured Oklahoma University, we'll tour college in the area of Atlanta. I won't know that until March, which one. And I'm asking now because I have to have these numbers finalized and funding ready to go in March. So that way things are ready and paid in the installments that the State Association, New Mexico Association of Student Activities, Student Council asks for before we are out of the fiscal year in May.
Absolutely. The LEAD conference, is that for high schoolers, middle, or
High
both?
school.
Okay.
So used to it was for both, and when we hosted it in our state, Albuquerque in 2024, I got to take middle school and high school. This year, and last year, the year before, since I was traveling out of the state, they did restrict to only high school. So I have 4 high school students.
Cool.
The DC one is a mix of middle school and high school.
Awesome. And then for the grant opportunities, do you already have some that are available that you're eyeballing? That
So there's one that's gonna help with some of the projects that we're doing to offload that cost.
Mhm.
And then the other potentially 2 is like written in red, and there's another one. I
Yes.
don't know how much they're gonna give, but there are those ones, and I know the sooner I can get these done in written, previewed, hopefully, please, and then that way, once I do submit it, there would be more of a discussion this year through those 2 platforms, and that way I don't happen to miss
absolutely,
those opportunities.
absolutely. Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions? None? All right, thank you very much. We can continue, we can just do E and then do F, I guess.
I was gonna say, can we approve them both in one fell swoop?
You have to say E and F.
That's what I figured. I move that we approve the 3 out-of-state travels for student council as well as the grant opportunity searches for student council.
Okay, we
I'll
have a motion
second.
on the floor.
I'll second.
We have a second by Ms. Miles for approval on item 7, E and F. Approval of out-of-state travel for student council and approval of grant opportunities for student council. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Item 7G, approval of out-of-state travel for FFA convention.
Hello, my name is Ellie Martinez. I'm in 8th grade at Dexter Middle School, and I am a Dexter FFA member. I have qualified to compete at National FFA Convention for the Spanish Creed in Indianapolis.
Mhm.
And my request is for myself and my FFA advisor, and are requesting permission to travel to Indianapolis, Indiana on Monday, October 19th, and return on Friday, October 23rd. And since this is a national contest, all expenses are generously paid by Dexter FFA alumni.
That's cool.
Awesome. Good job.
That's so exciting.
Yes, that is very exciting.
So then question, can you answer and display the Dexter Edge item of the week? Skill, thank you. I'm like, what do you, what is it? And can,
And state. So
Great.
Hello, awesome.
Hello.
In that case, I move that we approve the out-of-state travel for FFA
Now
convention.
everyone knows how to get something approved.
Right. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second on one condition. Would you come back and give us a report
Oh,
when you win?
yeah. I like your condition better than
Yes,
mine.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear.
Leveraging it.
Sometime.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a caveat, if she wins nationals this year, she will not be next year.
Oh,
If she places second or below, she will be able to return at both the state level and the national.
well, that's okay because
Switch.
And this is
So
the
many-
only contest that is that way because it is a new contest and they're trying to build.
Okay.
Interesting.
Even though she's an 8th grader and next year she'd be in high school.
Correct.
Still can't-
So typically at any
Yeah, that's
FFA
okay.
contest, if you go to nationals, you cannot return in that same contest. But because this is new, and that's also why you got second at the state level, or we probably would approved this sooner, but the state just let us know as well that this was an option for her to go. And I think the more times she goes, the better she'll get. So as an
Absolutely.
8th grader, we should send her.
Well, then when you go win this year, you just expand your horizons into something new next year. huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So, honestly, they already talked into doing the Spanish Creek next school year.
That's awesome.
oh, that's exciting.
Gotta girl, yeah.
Very exciting.
So I agree with Miss Miles. Come back and maybe do that for us. That would be really neat to see. Be awesome.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so we have a motion.
Congratulations to you.
Yes.
So we should have a motion
Oh.
and a second on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Item
We would
7.
have approved it anyway, but
Yeah, we didn't want technical difficulties. Throw it out. Item 7G, approval of out-of-state travel for FFA convention.
Thanks, girl. Thanks.
Did I do that, Buzz? Yes, I did.
Yeah. do it.
Okay, so H, approval of out-of-state travel
for ASBO.
for ASBO International Conference. And that's gonna be.
Bailey, are you gonna shake everybody's hands a little?
I did not
Yeah,
do
what
FFA.
But you go to Dexter, so you still get the Dexter Edge skill. So if you want approval.
I would just like to speak to this, the ASBO International Conference, you've already approved me to travel, I get to go because I'm a member of the Mexico ASBO, the state board.
Yes.
Every year on ASBO International, it's North America, they're Canada and North America. And I think we have some groups from Mexico there too. But they open up this Emerging Leaders Scholarship and they accept applications from folks who've only been in school business. I believe it's less than 5 years. Naomi wrote an outstanding letter and they only accept 20.
Oh,
So she gets to go. They're providing a scholarship that will cover the majority of it. The district will have to kick in a little, but she gets to go to Pittsburgh. She'll go a day early and meet these other new emerging leaders and get to network and meet them and then go to the conference. So it's a great opportunity. And I'm sure how like y'all remember Rosalinda came and read her letter. We could probably talk Naomi in this about. Do you?
Or you can
Awesome.
rewrite.
Wow.
It's incredible. New Mexico, I think we've had about 4, year before last in Mexico, it's 100 years ago, in 2006, I got it and got to go to this. So it's really, really cool experience.
Wow, that's pretty
Very
special.
clever.
Good job. Yes.
Yeah,
We're
well,
gonna hold you to
I
that.
want to see the letter.
That's why my husband's like, they chose you out of everybody.
You should say absolutely.
It was a funny thing.
This is why he married you. You should have told him that. This is why you married me. You also, yeah. I'm the
Awesome.
chosen one.
Awesome. Do we have a motion on the floor?
I move we approve the ASBO International Conference out-of-state travel, October 12 through 16 in Pittsburgh for Nayeli
Okay, we have,
Anderson.
yep, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second by Ms. Batista. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
And you'll need to come back and tell us about it, what Pittsburgh's like in the fall.
I'll bring more pictures.
We just love to hear.
Yes.
All right, so item 7I, approval of purchase of 2 route buses.
So our route buses have a lifetime of 12 years before the state replaces. This year, so we were due to replace in 2028. The state has upped that schedule. They have, a lot of oil and gas revenue, which funds a lot of capital purchases. So we have 2 buses, our bus with the lift, bus 8, and I forget the other one, but they're both 2016s that we get to replace.
Okay.
The process, they send us a letter, not with an amount. Once we get our quotes from the bus, there are 2 authorized sales, either International or Bluebird in New Mexico, because districts must buy from in-state, which is just fine. We'll get quotes from them, and then HED will send us like a grant agreement with the exact amounts.
Okay.
We understand if our route buses, for the most part, are international. We're really leaning towards those international have a fleet, the same type of buses. If we go with international, they'll have one by October, November, which is,
Really?
they've prepared. They also heard the state is going to release funding early, so they've got ready.
That's fast. Haven't we had to wait a year for buses?
Now, the last time I think it was,
Wow,
So we need to approve that.
yes. Action item.
I move we approve the purchase of 2 route buses.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Miles. Do we have a second?
A second?
We have a second by Ms. Batista. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item 7J, discussion and approval of school board calendar.
We're tabling that one too. I move that we table item J for the next board meeting so we can do it as a one fell swoop.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Batista. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Ms. Miles. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously as well. Item 7K, reading and discussion of board policy. That's a whole bunch of.
Mhm. Is your
Look
idea
at
to
the
read
fir-
these out
Look at the
loud?
first one.
And
B
they're gonna-
1100 is
Can I-
on board committees. It's very short. I promise. They are not super long. So if we
Let's go.
hurry, we can be fast.
Okay, so where are we starting on B's?
1100.
We go.
So committee work of the board shall usually be done by members of the board sitting as a committee of a whole. There shall be no standing or permanent committees composed entirely of board members that would make up a quorum of the board. If a temporary committee is appointed, it shall serve only for the time needed for its designated purpose. Committee recommendations shall be advisory only.
This is not the one that you said needed updated, is it? Or is it? The one?
No, I think we're
Okay.
good there.
That was.
I was gonna say, because that seemed in line. Got it?
I'll start.
Okay,
We're
Here
on
we did.
1200 now.
we're good now.
B 1200, advisory committees. The board may, by majority vote, appoint ad hoc advisory committees when deemed advisable. Recommendations of such committees cannot be binding on the board. They may be advisory only. These committees will be responsible for presenting to the board recommendations for actions based on research and facts. Any such committee shall be dissolved upon completion of its assignment or may be dissolved by a vote of the board. The board president shall develop guidelines for each committee. These guidelines shall be approved by the board prior to the first meeting of each committee and may include, but not necessarily be limited to, the following: a written specific statement of the purpose of the committee, the dates on which interim and final reports of the committee are to be rendered, the date or event upon which the committee will be terminated, the extent to which facilities, supplies, equipment, and clerical support will be provided to each committee. The superintendent will ensure that the following actions are taken for each committee established by the board. Each committee member will be briefed on the requirements of the New Mexico open meeting law as it applies to committees of the board. Notices and agendas of all meetings of the committee will be posted. Minutes will be kept of each meeting. A representative of the superintendent will serve as an ex officio member of all advisory committees. Adopted July 12, 2010.
$12.50.
So 50. Okay, school attorney. The board recognizes the need for the quality legal counsel in the light of the increasing complexity of the statutes, regulations, and policies under which the district operates. Board attorneys are retained by the board as counsel for the board to provide legal service on any matter related to the operation of the district. The attorney may be asked to provide legal advice, render legal opinions, prepare solutions, review proposed board actions, represent the board in a court of law, or provide the legal service the board or superintendent may request on behalf of the district. The board, the board designates the superintendent as the sole administrative access to the board's attorney for legal information regarding the day-to-day operations of the district. The superintendent may, on a need basis, delegate the responsibilities for contact with the attorneys to a member of the staff. The president of the board shall have access to the board's attorney and may request legal advice about school business with prior authorization by the board regarding the areas for which advice is sought. Such requests may be in writing, in person, or by telephone. Copies of all written requests for opinion shall be furnished by the superintendent to all board members. Requests for opinions requiring research or substantial amounts of work on the part of private counsel shall be in writing when practicable. All advice received from the attorneys is privileged under the attorney's client privilege, and all recipients of such advice and the written letters, memoranda thereof shall be kept such advice strictly confidential. Adopted its date of manual adoption. Okay.
B 1300, board consultants. The district may employ consultants when appropriate to carry out tasks or projects that enhance the effectiveness of the district's operations. 1, when the district does not have the specialized competency on its staff, or 2, when such assignments would be burdensome to the school staff when added to their full-time assignments. The kinds of assistance sought from consultants may include, but will not necessarily be limited to: 1, conducting fact-finding studies, surveys, and research; 2, providing counsel or services requiring special expertise; and 3, assisting the board in developing policy and program recommendations. The employment of specific consultants within the budgeted funds of the district will be the responsibility of the superintendent. All consultants shall be engaged pursuant to appropriate rules of procurement.
Great. I forgot to put B 1400 on the list.
Oh, and it's a big one.
The board shall determine at least annually in a public meeting what notice for a public meeting is reasonable when applied to the school district. The board shall transact all business at official meetings of the board. These may be either regular, special, or emergency meetings defined as follows. Regular meetings, a meeting that members of a local school board at which at least a quorum is present, about which notice has been published, and at which normal school district business is transacted. Special meeting, an official legal acting meeting called between scheduled regular meetings to consider only specifically identified topics. Emergency meeting, an official legal action meeting called due to unforeseen circumstances that, if not addressed immediately by the public body, will likely result in injury or damage to persons or property or substantial financial loss to the public body. A local school board shall hold at least one regular meeting each month of the calendar year. Every meeting of the board, regular, special, or emergency, shall be open to the public except for an executive session that is held in accordance with state law. A meeting is defined as the gathering of a quorum of members of the public body to propose or take legal action, including any deliberation with respect to such action that has been properly noticed pursuant to law. Beginning July 1st, 2024, live audio and video webcast of board meetings shall be accessible through the district's website. The live webcast shall include a user interface that allows members of the public to submit written or verbal comments. The superintendent may develop regulations or procedures related to the public submission of written or verbal comments through the webcast medium. At the latest, The webcast shall begin as soon as practical after the board chair has called the meeting to order and shall terminate as soon as practical after the meeting has adjourned. Recordings of the webcast shall be posted on the district's website within 1 week of the meeting's conclusion and shall be available for at least 3 years following the date of the meeting unless the state records retention schedule provides otherwise. Regular board meeting. The second Monday of each calendar month is designated as the regular board meeting dates. A regular meeting may be rescheduled by agreement of the majority of the board. Written notice of the date, hour, place, and subject agenda of each regular meeting of the board shall be given as follows. Notice shall be posted at least 10 days preceding the scheduled time of the meeting, with the exception of an actual emergency, in which case such notice as is appropriate to the circumstance shall be given. Notice shall be posted in prominent places convenient to the public and available for reading at all times during the posting. The notice shall include a link or shall otherwise promote information to enable the public access to the live audio and video webcast of the meeting. The notice shall include an agenda or information as to when and where an agenda can be obtained at least 72 hours prior to the meeting and posted on the district's website if one is available. Every regular meeting of the board shall be open to the public to listen and observe the actions of the board. Special board meetings. Special meetings may be called whenever deemed necessary by the board president or when requested by a majority of the board. Written or telephone notice of all special meetings shall be given to the members of the board, and written notice shall be posted at least 3 days prior to the time stated for the meeting to convene. The notice shall include an agenda or information as to when and where an agenda can be obtained. The agenda shall be made available to the public at least 72 hours prior to the special meeting and posted on the district's website, if one is available. The superintendent's office shall transmit copies of the written notice to those broadcast stations licensed by the Federal Communication Commission and newspapers of general circulation that have made written requests for notice of public meetings. No business other than matters specified in the notice shall be transacted at such meetings. Special meetings shall be open to the public to listen and observe the actions of the board. Emergency meetings. An emergency refers to unforeseen circumstances that, if not addressed immediately by the public body, will likely result in injury or damage to persons or property or substantial financial loss to the public body. An emergency meeting may be called as necessary. The normal notice of the posting of an agenda, along with the requirement of discussing only agenda items, is not required when the board declares an emergency in accord with the statutory definition. But notice 24 hours prior to the meeting is expected unless the emergency preludes such notice. The district must, within 10 days of taking action on an emergency matter, report to the Attorney General's office the action taken and the circumstances creating the emergency. The requirement to report to the Attorney General is waived upon the declaration of a state or national emergency. In addition to the information specified above, all notices shall include the following language. If you are an individual with a disability who is in need of a reader, amplifier, qualified sign language interpreter, or any other form of auxiliary aid or service to attend or participate in the hearing or meeting, please contact the superintendent's office at least 1 week prior to the meeting or as soon as possible. Public documents, including the agenda and minutes, can be provided in various accessible forms. Please contact the superintendent's office if a summary or other type of accessible format is needed. And that was adopted July 8th of 2024.
Wow, you're so fast. I can tell you read through a lot of stuff.
B 1550, executive sessions, open meetings. The board may enter into executive session after the following requirements have been met. The board has first been convened in open meeting, for which notice stating the specific provision of law authorizing the executive session has been given. The board president has identified the section or sections of 10-15-1 NMSA 1978 that authorizes holding of the executive session and has stated the language of the section or sections and with reasonable specificity the subject to be discussed. The executive session is authorized by a majority vote of a quorum in open session. The vote of each member shall be recorded in the minutes. Only those who are necessary to the conduct of the meeting shall be admitted. The president of the board shall have sole authority to determine admission to a closed meeting and may deny further attendance other than to a board member to one who has been admitted. No final action, decision, or vote shall be taken while the board is in executive session, except as provided by the law. The board shall provide a statement in the minutes of the opening meeting in which the executive session was held, or at the next meeting following the executive session meeting. If it is a separate meeting, that the matters discussed in the executive session were limited only to those specified in the motion for closure or in the notice of the separate executive session meetings. This was adopted the date the manual was adopted.
B 1581, the board may enter into executive session after the following requirements have been met. The board has first been convened in open meeting with, oh, sorry, my screen just changed pages on me. 1581, yeah?
Yeah.
It's just jumping around here. That was interesting. So it's the executive sessions?
Yes, yes, yes.
A closed executive meeting may be held to discuss issuance, suspension, renewal, and revocation of a license. Final action shall be taken at an open meeting. Limited personnel matters, which means the discussion of hiring, promotion, demotion, dismissal, assignment, or resignation of, or the investigation or consideration of complaints or charges against any individual public employee. Final actions on personnel which the board is lawfully authorized to take shall be taken at an open public meeting. An administrative help
Adjunctory.
Adjudicatory.
proceeding, which means a proceeding brought by or against a person before a public body in which individual legal rights, duties, or privileges are required by law to be determined by the public body after an opportunity for a trial type hearing. Final action which the board is lawfully authorized to take as a result of the proceeding shall occur in an open meeting. Personally identifiable information about any individual student, unless the student, his parent or guardian requests otherwise. Bargaining strategy preliminary to collective bargaining negotiations between the board and a bargaining unit representing the employees of the district, and collective bargaining sessions at which the board and the representatives of the collective bargaining unit are present. Purchases exceeding $2,500 that can be made only from one source, and the contents of competitive sealed proposals solicited pursuant to the procurement code during the contract negotiation process. The actual approval of purchase of the item or final action regarding the selection of a contractor shall be made in an open meeting. Meeting subject to the attorney-client privilege pertaining to threatened or pending litigation in which the board is or may become a participant. The purchase, acquisition, or disposal of real property or water rights. Is that the end of it?
Yes.
Because I don't get, okay.
So those are like what we would put on the agenda on a reason to have executive session.
Okay, I was gonna say, it didn't give me the date.
E1600, meeting procedures bylaws. The president of the board is responsible for the orderly conduct of the meeting and shall rule on such matters as the time to be allowed for public discussion, the appropriateness of the subject being presented, and the suitability of time for such a presentation. All such rulings shall be consistent as to length of time allowed for discussion and viewpoint neutral. The rulings are subject to review by the board at a subsequent meeting, properly noticed, as long as the matter is included on the agenda. Adopted date of manual adoption. I gotta start wearing my glasses.
B16,
I have-
notification of board meetings. The posting place for all notices of meetings shall be in an area available to the public 24 hours per day, well lighted and with at least one of the locations reasonably close to the district office. Notice of regular meetings shall be posted throughout the community at the following locations: district office, all district schools, and other locations as appropriate. At least 10 days notice shall be given for any regular meeting and 3 days for any special meeting time and place, with the exception of an actual emergency, in which case such notice as inappropriate to the circumstances shall be given, usually 24 hours. Notice shall be provided to board members at least 10 days prior to the regular meeting, 3 days prior to special meeting, and as appropriate to the circumstances for emergency meetings of the time and place that they make plans to be present. All meeting notifications shall include a link or shall otherwise provide information to enable the public to access the live audio and video webcast of the meeting. Adopted July 8th of 2024.
B 1700. That's not right.
Mhm.
Is that?
It is.
Okay.
Agenda? Yes.
Agenda. Only those items on the agenda will be discussed and deliberated by the board at a meeting. The president is authorized to declare the board's approval of the minutes, the agenda, and adjournment when it is evident that no change or objection is being proposed. Similarly, the president may declare a recess or rule a motion out of order. After the agenda has been approved by the board, it must be followed unless a motion to consider something out of order is approved by a majority vote. The order of business should be as follows unless reordered by the president. Call regular meetings, call to order, establishment of a quorum, pledge of allegiance to the flag, adoption of agenda, presentation and approval of minutes, reports, other business, public forum, finance and facilities, legal issues, personnel, correspondence, items suggested for future meetings, adjournment. Special meetings, call to order, items for which special meeting was called, announcements, adjournment. Executive sessions. An executive session may be scheduled as necessary during either a regular or special meeting. Adopted July 8th, 2024.
As per B 1700, the president has issued a reorder of who's reading. So, so, oh no, you do get that
No,
one.
yeah, I'm 1711.
Yeah.
Agenda?
Yep.
Okay. The agenda of each regular board meeting may contain a constant agenda. Consent, sorry. Consent agenda items will be determined by the superintendent following discussion with the board president at the time. Agenda are prepared for the regular meetings of the board. Consent agenda items are acted upon a group with one motion and second for all identified items. Items to be included to the consent agenda will be listed on the agenda on the normal manner. However, they will be identified with an asterisk. All backup material relating to the consent agenda items will be included in the board's agenda packet. Consent agenda items may be removed from consent status by any member of the board before the regular board meeting or at the time of adoption of the agenda. When so removed, they are to be acted upon just as other agenda items.
B 1750, regular meetings. The superintendent will prepare board meeting agendas in consultation with the board president. The superintendent or board members may place items on the agenda. Any board member desiring to place an item on the agenda will notify the superintendent of the particular item of business at least 5 central office working days before the meeting agenda is finalized, at least 8 days prior to the meeting. Inclusion on the next agenda will depend upon the amount of time necessary to provide information to the board for deliberation and decision-making. The superintendent will make this decision in consultation with the board president. The agenda and supporting materials shall be distributed to the board members no less than 72 hours prior to the meeting. Meeting notices shall include the date, time, and place of the meeting and an agenda containing a list of specific items of business to be discussed or transacted at the meeting, or information on how the public may obtain a copy of such an agenda. Except in the case of an emergency, the agenda shall be available to the public at least 72 hours prior to the meeting. Reasonable public notice of a meeting shall be by a notice given at least 10 days before a scheduled meeting and distributed to broadcast stations licensed by the Federal Communications Commission and newspapers of general circulation that have provided a written request for such notice. Meeting notifications and agendas shall include a link or shall otherwise provide information to enable the public to access the live audio and video webcast of the meeting. Special meetings. The procedures of agenda preparation and dissemination used for regular meetings will be used for special meetings. Emergency meetings. Agenda preparation for an emergency meeting shall be as appropriate for the circumstances, since normal notice of an agenda along with the requirement of discussing only agenda items is not when the board declares an emergency in accordance with the statutory definition. Notice of the meeting being held 24 hours prior to the meeting is expected unless the emergency precludes such notice. Adopted July 8, 2024.
B 1800, a quorum consisting of a majority of the board membership shall be necessary to conduct any business. The board may allow a member to participate in the business of the board using a device configured in a manner that conversation from all participants can be heard on both ends of the deliberation when it is otherwise difficult or impossible for the member to attend the meeting in person. Adopted date of the manual.
And last but not least, 1850 Rules of Order. The board prescribes rules for its meeting as follows. It shall hold a regular meeting at least once each month during the year and may hold other meetings as often as called. Each action item shall require a motion and all motions shall require seconding. The president may make or second motions and may vote on all motions.
It's an interesting
I-
topic right there.
Yeah, a motion to adjourn is in order at any time. Such a motion shall require a second and a majority vote. No discussion is in order. The maker of a motion shall have the right to withdraw the motion at any time prior to being voted on. A motion to table is in order at any time. Such a motion requires a second and is limited to being considered only once by any given agenda item. No discussion is in order. The board's action should result from a decision on the merits rather than the manipulation of the procedural rules. Rules of order may be subject to suspension only upon a majority vote of the members of the board present at a meeting. In matters not covered by these rules, those referenced below the president may consult a manual on parliamentary procedure for small organizations. Adopted date of manual.
And there is one more.
There is one more.
Oh,
I missed two of them on the list of, Louis, are you gonna read or?
Yeah.
oh, I see it now.
He gets a short one.
2050.
Uh-huh.
Hey, that last one was a good one, 1850. I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad we're going over these. I mean, at some point when I first joined, it's been probably a year and a half ago. I did go through and read all of these, but you kind of forget, and then you're skimming through them. But anyway, 2050 voting method. Votes on all motions and resolutions shall be by a voice or roll call vote, and the vote of members shall be recorded. No secret ballots shall be used. Each member of the board shall have one vote, and a proposal shall pass by the affirmative vote of a majority of the members present at the meeting. Should a vote on any motion end in a tie, the motion shall be defeated. And that abstention does not affect the count of the vote, as it has no power. An abstention cannot affect a quorum. What's abstention mean?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Choosing.
Oh, so if somebody abstains, okay.
I've never seen abstention.
I haven't
That's the root word is.
Mhm.
Date of a manual adoption.
Thank you guys for.
Yes, thank you guys for bearing with us.
back to
All
you.
right,
Finance and facilities.
your pick. Item 8, finance and facilities. 8A, approval of July bills and payroll. Do you have a motion? Well, actually, I'd like to make a motion. I move. We just found out I could do this.
Liberated.
Yes. I move we approve the July bills and payroll.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by myself. Sorry, now I'm having kind of fun with this. And a second by Ms. Miles. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so item 8B, approval of budget adjustments.
There are no budget adjustments.
Whoa.
Good job.
Just there were no budget reports either. We don't start sending out budget reports till after the end of September.
Okay.
So I move that we approve the budget adjustments that don't exist. for
Okay.
this month.
Awesome. We have a motion on the floor. We have a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 I
Miles, motion passes unanimously. Item 8C, approval of roof repair.
Chris, do you have anything you wanted to add?
For which building?
It's gonna be for the high school, buildings and mainly the elementary building.
Okay.
So we've got a lot of problems with that metal up there, a lot of the penetrations that are up there, a lot of the screws are rotting out, stuff like that, so they're just gonna come in. Obviously, they're not gonna get them all, but they're gonna get what they can can get.
All right,
I move we approve the roof repair.
okay, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Miles. Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Item D, approval of legislative funding requests.
So in the last 2 years, we received several of our funding requests from legislative asks. And so, we're very blessed with the track, the practice field. As we will get started on the new ones, the tractor, bus barn upgrade, and plumbing at Lewis Gym. But it's already time to apply again.
Mhm.
It comes soon. They changed the ruling a little bit. So typically this used to, we went to legislatures in November. And now there's a pre-part that we're gonna upload before that. So we have to know prior. So here's what we're going to ask for as the district. As we look at having a new build for our elementary and middle school, how does that building sit with all our other buildings that are on this side, as well as how do we protect and keep some of these buildings going that are on the older side? So cafeteria is our number 1 and 2 ask. Number 1 is adding new lighting in our cafeteria here at the high school, as well as flooring. This is also, you can click on there and you can see how much as well. And then cafeteria upgrades is making that space so that way it's compatible for pre-K, which pre-K typically eats in their room, but K-12 in that space. So giving it some updates, bringing it some new life, because that's a space that all our kids are going to utilize. And so how do we utilize that space well and make it suitable? So that's, sorry, it asked me to share this because obviously. Now you should all be able to open it. And then Lewis Gym upgrades. That's making that space, our bathrooms, our locker rooms, updating those spaces. Or the Lewis Gym upgrades is the commons area as well as gym, including backboards, scoreboard, just updating it. And that way, that's money that we not necessarily could spend, but it's a place where a lot of our community members come and it's a place of pride. So ensuring that that space continues that way. And then our agriculture auto program updates. This is, we're very broad in the way that we put this. This is for painting the inside and outside of those buildings. So that way our buildings have paint as well as our high school painting updates. So painting the outside of that building as well, so we can make the outside look good, inside and outside on the high school painting. So that way it looks nice as we prepare for a new building. And that way all our buildings continue. On the Lewis Gym upgrades, that includes painting the outside of Lewis Gym as well. So we just want all our buildings to start having a common look and a look of new, and so keeping those going. That's the asks. Not to say that we'll get any of them, because last year we had neighboring school districts go out and ask for funds and they didn't get anything. But I think it's important that we continue to ask, and we can continue to thank our legislators for the money that we have received, because it does make a big difference that we don't have to go out and do those things with our funds.
Mhm.
That also paid for that stucco on the field house and painting of the block.
Previously, that was part of it.
Well, with your newfound freedom.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me you write this down, okay? All right,
But it was a capital.
there you go. All right, I would like to approve.
I would like to make a motion.
I would like, sorry, see, I've already done this stuff.
You get no more freedom.
I would like to make a motion to approve the legislative funding requests.
I'll second.
Here we have a motion on the floor by myself, once again, and a motion by Ms. Batista. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, item 9, future agenda items.
Would you
Um,
guys like to put a special meeting to discuss next steps for
Probably-
our open position
Yes,
probably need that.
happening after August 31st or before August 31st?
I would say before, so that way we can get right on the 45 days, yeah?
sounds good. I'd have to,
So
yeah,
we're not being annual.
yeah, we'd have to just check availability on times. Okay. I am fairly open, very open, actually, the week of the 24th. Any day. The 24th.
Morning or evening,
Either or.
Ms. Miles?
Evening's usually better for me, but
That week is also good for me. However, if it is on that Tuesday, I may not be available until 5 PM.
So we can pick whichever, I'm wide open.
Just go with the 24th, keep it on a Tuesday or on a Monday.
Sounds good, 24th?
24th. What time?
What time works?
I can probably be here by 5. I don't have anything on my.
Okay.
As well.
that work for you?
Oh, no, I'm good on that as well.
5 o'clock?
5 o'clock on the 24th? Okay. 5 PM.
They let sure to make, oh, so then that's, we have to let the other 2 board members know.
Do you mind on that meeting that also, so for September, one of the things on there is superintendent evaluation. So at this special meeting, I will try to bring some other school districts' evaluation instruments, and then that way you guys can take those home and look at them and give you a little time. And not to say even on the September that we have to do superintendent evaluation, we may just decide on an evaluation tool
Yep.
that night, but that would give us a little heads up in that area.
Sure. Okay. Perfect. Okay, item 10, correspondence, future meetings and events. Pending correspondence, we're good? There.
Can I ask, looking at the October calendar, is it out of order?
No, you're,
When the board self-evaluation, will we have access to some examples of that?
I will probably just try to get those to you on the 24th as well, so you guys can go through them. And I'll reach out to CES. They did say that there's some as well based
Examples.
upon the strategic plan. And because this hasn't been done in a while, we may have to change, move, but I think that this at least gives us an idea if it's coming up, we should do it, because sometimes we just don't do them if they're not.
Right.
Yes.
so, item B, future meetings and events, September 14th, 2026, regular board meeting. And I believe that's it. Item 11, adjournment. We have a motion on the floor to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Anybody? I second.
That's right. I forget, now I can second, I can do all this kind of stuff, all right. So we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Miles and a second by myself. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ms. Miles? Aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Now I'm gonna start having fun with this deal. Wow. I gotta get used to